the team seems like they're having more fun. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm seeing that, but it seems like they are loose. It seems like even Coach Dable is loose. And I don't want to make this into a Daniel Jones bash session because Lord knows I did that for the last 6 years. Okay, I get it. But seriously, the personality of a quarterback, I think, is very important because they're the leader of the team pretty much. You obviously have your defensive captains, but everybody knows that the team, the most important position is the quarterback. So with Daniel Jones being so, like you said, robotic and kind of vanilla and like no personality, just like a bowl of oatmeal, and then you got Russell Wilson and you got Jameis Winston and now you got Jackson Dart. So, you got like a little fajita for breakfast there. Now you got some spice. Throw some hot sauce in that bitch and let's go.
How do you got a personality, man? Don't forget about him either.
Tommy, of course. Hey, paisano. So, yeah, we got to throw some Italian bread in there with the fajita, a couple cannolis on the side. Why not? But, Anthony, how important do you think it is, if at all, for a team to be kind of carefree and loose? Not like you said, not like they're aloof and they don't care, but you can definitely tell it seems like they're enjoying the game. They're having fun. How important is that for a team to like enjoy one another and have a good time when they're playing football?
I might be the young blood on the show, but I know my Giants history too. And I know how the culture changed when Tom Coughlin took the team bowling. I know these stories, and I know that it's important for the team to feel like a team, for it to feel like a brotherhood, for them to be friends, to enjoy going to the facility and practicing on the football field together. It's super important. I think that's important in life. I think anybody who works a job, you want to like your coworkers. It's the same thing with a team. It's the same thing with football. I think it's of the utmost importance for them to be loose and enjoying what they're doing. I think over the last few years, a lot of these players were flat out miserable. They didn't like going to the facility. They didn't like playing on Sundays. I think that's why we had players get their effort called into question, and we had all of these issues with guys not trying or giving up or maybe being somewhat injured but not participating in practice even though they probably could. We've seen things like that over the last few years, but right now I don't think we would see anything like that. I think this team really wants to be on the field. They want to compete, and they're all competing for one another, and that's really important. So I know that Russell Wilson has taken initiative. He's taken guys out to dinner. He's set up a lot of off the facility events for his teammates. And I think there's also been instances of that with, obviously he's done the training, he's done the dinners, and also on the defensive side of the ball, I know a lot of those guys got together to do some training as well outside of the facility, especially in the defensive line. Dexter Lawrence took a lot of the young guys with him to train with Mark Hall, respected defensive line coach. Darius Alexander was there. Jordan Riley was there, and some other guys around the league. So I think all of that stuff is really, really important, and it creates good team chemistry, and it creates a camaraderie that's going to allow them to fight a little bit harder on Sundays and hopefully, God willing, pick up some more wins this season.
Chris, how important is it for the guys to be out there having fun and not just kind of going through the motions?
I'm not going to put that all on Daniel Jones why they weren't having fun. I think there was a lot more to it than just that. The team was horrible. They had, they went through several coaching changes, but of course he was a part of it. He played the most important position. I've always said in defense of Daniel Jones's personality, people said the same thing about Eli Manning. I remember growing up when he first started with the Giants, people used to pick on him. Oh, he doesn't have the personality for New York, the all shucks mentality. So at the end of the day, if you're winning football games, it's a lot easier to be happy with the quarterback's personality. You find a way to like that guy and view him as a leader. And Daniel Jones just didn't do enough winning. But of course, having a friendly atmosphere and a quarterback that you could relate to helps, but it only helps if you're winning. If the Giants win 3 or 4 games this year and Jackson Dart's playing horrible and Russell Wilson's playing horrible, the locker room's not going to be kumbaya mid to late season. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the wins and losses. But it's good to be optimistic going into the year.
The one thing I'll say about – now, I'm not in the locker room, but
yeah,
I think we all know Eli Manning joked around a lot.
That's what you heard after the fact.
In the locker room,
yeah.
right. But you didn't hear those things about Daniel Jones at all.
I mean, you remember it, Bad Dog. The media used to kill him for the all shucks attitude. I remember.
I know, but that was with the media. Like I'm saying, like in the locker room, I feel like that it could have been different. Again, I'm not in there. I mean, we've talked to Patty Trainer, though. She's been in there, and I think she kind of said the same thing. He's just kind of, to no fault of his own. Like it's not a knock on him, but he was just a dull guy.
Yeah.
He didn't have much of a personality, and it's just much different. Adriana, you think it's important that these guys are having a good time and they're kind of carefree and, loose, or does it not matter at all?
Well, I'm laughing to myself about you talking about DJ like that because I saw a video on the Colts like TikTok or something, and it was one of the social admins had a megaphone and was saying like good morning to all the players that came in, and I'm like waiting for DJ, like maybe we're going to see DJ like hey, good morning, like all excited, and he's like one of the players who's not included in it, and I was just like that sounds about right. But I think it's so true. You know, the way that Malik Neighbors has gushed about Abdul Carter and Brian Burns and some of the other players on this team, I think there's a completely different energy there. And I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to some Giants podcast and someone was saying that the atmosphere around the players and the coaches is very different in the sense that the coaches are not on edge. And he specifically said it that way. And I thought it was really interesting because last year, maybe they had much higher expectations because of DJ. Like, I don't know. But I think you really see that. Like, Dable gets pissed when he has to, when there was a false start in the red zone during an 11-on-11 drill, which is unacceptable. It's how you lose football games. So, you know, you love to see Dable get pissed off about stuff like that. But outside of that, like I saw Brian Burns and Dable like hanging out, you know, on the field while they're running other 11-on-11 drills when like the third and fourth strings are in. So I feel like there definitely is a different type of relationship there. And, you know, I think one of the players have said this at this point, and they're like, you know, I'm not comparing it to going to battle because it's obviously not the same thing, but when you go out there every Sunday, you're fighting for each other on the field and you have to have each other's backs. And the more you get to know each other and you know their personality and their life outside of football and what's important to them and things like that, the more you care about being a good football player on the field to help them out. And I think that has been shown a little bit, like even the way that Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo come out together every single practice, you know, they're all doing stuff together, the way that they all went bowling and they did these different types of dinners and things like that. I think it helps. I think, you know, like you guys said, it's like your coworkers, right? The coworkers that you like and have a good relationship with, when they email you, you're like, all right, I'll get this
Yes.
done. You know, you're happy
Facts.
to do that.
Facts.
And then when it's someone you hate, you're like, oh my God, here we go.
Facts.
And I think it's evident with all the players, like every media interview I've had, all the players who spoke to Kay Williams, they're just like gushing and glowing over each other. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the clip from Malik about Abdul, but I'm like, this is how everyone wants their partner to talk about them. This like facial expressions. It was so pure the way that he talked about like how good he is as a football player and that he calls other players as he's watching the film and tells them they have to look at these specific clips from practice. Like, this is what I want to hear. Like, I think they're all really excited and I think they all care. And I just think they have a different level to like what's going on in the building right now. It absolutely feels different.